It's your girl Shay back with another video. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ashley. Today I'm going to be posting a school video. I know back to school season is right around the corner and it's here for some of us already, and I know that with online classes things can be super stressful, especially for my first year college students. You know what? It'll be fine. Hang in there. And honestly, I think it's a blessing that you have your classes online because I feel like it'll be a little bit easier for you to get your classes done that way, just with the difficulty level, and things are probably going to be a little bit more lenient now that things are online. So today I'm going to be giving you 10 different tips for first year college students, or just college students in general who haven't quite gotten the hang of it. I'm actually going into my third year of college this semester. Yes, so I think I have some credibility. I've been here for a while and I know what works for me. So if you would like to see some tips, that will possibly help you on your journey, your first year in college or whatever year you're going into right now, stick around and let's get into the video. So I won't be doing these tips in any particular order. They're not going to be from most important to least important or vice versa. They're just going to be in a random order of the way that I thought of the tips. So keep that in mind while listening to the tips. They're all equally important. So my very first tip is just to start off the semester or the quarter strong. This is super important. Pay attention, take notes, study. Start off strong, get a good momentum when you first start, because playing catch up at the end of the semester when you're very close to failing the class is very stressful. You don't know if you're going to pass the class. You're going to stress yourself out. It's going to take a toll on you and your mental health, and also it's going to take away from your other classes that you may be excelling in or that you may be close to failing as well. So my tip is to start off strong, complete assignments on time, complete them to the best of your ability, ask for help, do all of that in the beginning so you don't have to play catch up at the end of the semester. I've been there where I slacked off in the beginning and then I really had to work so hard towards the end of the semester when things were already getting stressful, when finals are coming up. That is not when you want to be putting in all your work. Honestly, if you put in work at the beginning, if you slip up at the end of the semester, it's not going to affect your grades too heavily because you worked so hard in the beginning. So my second tip is to find a good study system. This is extremely important because in order to pass your classes, you're going to need to study the material that is presented to you in class or in the textbook. So first thing I would say is to find out how your teacher teaches things. Will the test be based on lecture? Will the test be based on the book? Will it be based on the PowerPoints? Will it be based on just your teacher speaking in class? Figure that out and figure out what study system works best for you. If you study best in groups, form a study group in the class. If you study best on your own, set aside time to study. If you like to study off your notes, it makes you take really good notes. If you like flashcards, whether that be Quizlet or manual, do that. Find what works for you. Try out different study styles because you will need to come up with a good study system in order to pass your classes and especially to get good grades in your classes. You need to find a good study system in any class, period. So my favorite study system is Quizlet just because there's a wide variety of things, flashcards, memory tests, quizzes and tests on there as well. Quizlet is a very overall good study tool for college in my opinion, just for any type of schooling or things that you need to remember anyway. I think Quizlet is a really good thing, but find what works for you and come up with a good study system. My third tip is to keep track of all of your assignments, all of your upcoming due dates, all of your test dates, and all of that. That is extremely important so you can turn your assignments in on time. Most professors will take points off if you turn your assignments in late, and you want to get the most available points you can. The worst thing is completing an assignment to the best of your ability, but turning it in late and losing 10 points. That is not something that you want to do. So to avoid this, I recommend getting a planner if that's something you're into. I personally do not keep up with planners. I've tried them in the past and it's okay if you're not able to keep up with the planner either. What you can do is check Canvas every day, or you can set up your Canvas calendar to a Google Calendar or to your phone calendar. That is the easiest way to do it because it will send you alerts and things like that. But yeah, keep up to date with your assignments, write them down, keep them in your calendar, set reminders, do all of those things because you want to stay up to date with your assignments and your due dates. That is super important. And also, you really want to make sure you know when tests are coming up so you can study and plan accordingly. And also so you can make it there on time, because a lot of teachers are not lenient at all when it comes to coming late during tests. You do have to learn your teachers, and some teachers are lenient, some aren't. So just be really careful with that. You really need to stay on top of your assignments. That is the most important thing. That is your grade. That is how you pass your classes, is by turning in assignments to the best of your ability and on time. My fourth tip is to ask questions and ask for help. This is a very important tip. You are literally paying your teachers to answer your questions and to teach you the material. So if you have a question in class, ask that question. Chances are there's someone else in the class that has the same question as you, and you're helping yourself out as well as someone else in the class. Think of it that way. And also, you asking questions helps you better understand the material. Ask as many questions as you need to. I know it can be nerve-wracking, and for those students who find it like very uncomfortable or awkward to ask questions in class, or you feel like it's a dumb question or something along those lines, you can always go to office hours or meet with your teacher after class. Just make note of that question and make sure you ask the questions that you want to know the answers to, because if you're confused, chances are someone else is confused. And also, asking that question may help you on a test. That question may be on a test, and if you didn't ask that question, you're probably not going to know the answer to it. And also, you want to make sure you can pass the class to the best of your ability, and you may not be able to do that on your own. So make sure you're asking questions, make sure you're asking for help, utilize the resources that the teachers have available for you. There's office hours, there's tutoring, asking questions in class, forming study groups. All of those things together will definitely help you better understand the material and give you better tools to pass the class. So my fifth tip, this is also really important. I'm going to say that about every tip here because I feel like these are all very important tips that have helped me along the way. But rate my professor. This is an amazing tool in learning what teachers are good and what teachers are not. In my experience, this tool has been very, very, very effective. There's been bad reviews and there's been good reviews, and every time I take a class, those reviews stay true. They stay true. So what Rate My Professor is a website where people rate their professors. So students like you and me go on there and rate the class based on difficulty level, workload, how hard the tests are, how hard the teacher grades the test, the quizzes, the class overall, how effective the teacher's teaching style is, how lenient they are. All of those different things, plus some more, is what you will see on Rate My Professor. This is extremely helpful when picking your classes. I recommend paying attention to your pastimes. Your pastime is when you're able to register for classes. So a couple weeks before, whenever you get this pastime, start looking up the teachers for the classes that you need and pick accordingly based on that. Yeah, this is a really good tool to help you get the good teachers and avoid the bad ones, because overall, Rate My Professor is very, very accurate in my experience. And also, this is really important when picking your classes. You do not want to end up with a bad teacher because that may result in a bad grade. You can do anything you set your mind to. So if you do get a bad teacher, there's ways around it. You can still pass the class with flying colors, but it will be a lot easier and less stressful if you can get a teacher that is actually good. Okay, so my sixth tip for you guys is do not buy the textbook before the first day of class. A lot of teachers will not require you to buy the textbook that is on the syllabus. Wait for the teacher's confirmation to buy whatever textbook or textbooks that you need for your classes. It could save you a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of stress. Yes, a lot of teachers will tell you what textbooks you need specifically, if it's recommended, if it's required, if you're going to use the textbook, if you're not. So just to avoid spending extra money or having to return textbooks or non-refundable textbooks, wait for the first day of class and wait for your teacher's confirmation on buying the textbook. Also, you can pay attention to their emails and things, because I know that things are online right now. So a lot of teachers are going to be emailing you, a week or two before class starts, and they'll tell you if you need a textbook or not. I would not rely on the syllabus because a lot of syllabi are not up to date for the current year. As you may know, if you look on some syllabi, the year is not up to date. It probably will not say 2020. It'll probably say a previous year. So what textbooks are on there may not be necessary for this class. So wait for your teacher's confirmation or wait for the first day of school to buy your textbooks. Also, don't buy your textbooks from the student store unless it's you can't buy it somewhere else. But I recommend buying your textbooks on Amazon. They're always cheaper on Amazon. I promise they will be cheaper on Amazon. Even if you have to get a different version, a lot of times the other version, the previous version, or the one above it is very similar. There's very minor changes, and you will still be able to succeed and excel in the class by getting a later or older version. So my next tip, to my knowledge at least, does not really apply to online classes, but for that one magical day that we are able to go back to school in person, join clubs and find opportunities to get priority registration. This is so important because it can be so stressful having to waitlist for classes, or not being able to make that waitlist, or not being able to get into the class, period. We want to graduate in a timely fashion, in a timely manner, and not being able to place into the classes that you need is detrimental to your graduation date, okay? It's very stressful. It takes a toll on your mental health. You feel like you're not going to be able to get the classes you need, but priority registration, for the most part, handles that. Like, you get to register before a lot of the bulk of other students. There's a very high chance that you're going to place into the classes that you want just because you have priority registration and the classes aren't full yet. So you get the good teachers, and you don't have the stress of like thinking, am I going to get into this class or not? So yes, join clubs, find opportunities to get priority registration, whatever that may be. That is so helpful, and it takes off a lot of stress of like wondering if you're going to place into a class or not. So my 8th tip is to always register for backup classes. This is very important because I know most of us need 12 units to be a full-time student, to receive financial aid, and a plethora of other things. You need 12 units for the most part to be a full-time student and to just receive different things as a full-time student. So I recommend always having backup classes in your schedule, just in case you don't make it into one class, just in case you end up dropping that class for whatever reason. You always want backup classes in your schedule just to protect you if you're not able to take a certain class for whatever reason. My 9th tip is to always speak with your major advisors because they can really help you stay on track for graduation, taking the classes that you need each semester, how fast of a pace you should be going to graduate within a certain time frame, whatever that may be for you. Yeah, your major advisors will really help you on your path. Ultimately, you want to make your own decisions and do what's best for you, but they work there, they know how the system works, and they will place you into different classes that you need to take to stay on track. Yes, they're very, very important tools that you should be using as a resource during your time in college. It's very important to speak with them, stay up to date with them, see if you're on track, taking the right classes, and if you're on like the right path to graduation. Do not do your homework in your bed. I know you've heard this before, but this is a very important tip. Doing your homework in your bed, the place that you sleep and relax and watch TV and movies and text your friends and do all that good stuff, is not the place that you want to be doing your homework. You will be less productive, you may fall asleep, you may get tired, you may want to relax, and that is not what you're doing when you're at school. This is a full-time job. You're not getting paid for it just yet, but you want to pass your classes and you want to get good grades, and if you're in your bed, you're already setting yourself up for failure. Take it from me personally, I am a type of student who will do my homework in my bed, and I feel like it has made me less productive. I'm not gonna lie. I know most of us have done homework in the bed. We hear this tip all the time and we ignore it, but it's very true. When I do homework at my desk, I am a lot more productive. I get things done faster, quicker, more efficiently, and it's just an overall better experience when I'm not in my bed doing work. So if you're able, what I would say is to set aside somewhere that's outside of your room, just because your room can have that relaxing atmosphere and environment. But you know, if you don't have the means to set up shop outside your room, maybe it's too noisy, maybe there's really no space to do that, have a separate section in your room, whether that be a desk, a table, even the floor. Like, if you're not used to sleeping on the floor, that will be a lot better than doing homework in your bed, just because you'll be more efficient, more productive, and you have a better chance of succeeding in your classes. So the most important takeaway from this video that I want you to receive is that all of these tips should be altered to fit you. I gave you all of these tips. These are really tips that work for me, and I know that they will be helpful to some of you, but alter them to fit you. Do what works for you. find what works for you, and that is the most important thing. This is your journey. This is you taking classes for your future, and the way that I do it may not be the way that you do it, and it may not work for you, and what you do may not work for me. So find what works for you, alter these tips to work for you, and make it the best you can so you can succeed in your college experience. I wish everyone the best of luck with these online classes with Zoom University. I hope that you take some of these tips and use them in your first year of college or whatever year you are embarking on now. And also, I wish everybody A's and B's. Realistically, we ain't all gonna get A's. That may sound so negative, but getting an A in a college class is very difficult. If you do, congratulations. If you get a B, congratulations. If you get a C, congratulations. Because C's get degrees, and all we want to do is pass these classes, keep our GPA up, and stay off academic probation. And these tips and tricks will help you along the way. I hope you liked the video. If you like college type videos like this, comment down below video ideas you would like to see in the future. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.